Welcome back. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has confirmed that 19 passports they thought were stolen were discovered inside the building. The statement released on Monday said, given the importance and sensitivity of the documents, the matter was treated extremely seriously. It said in pursuit of transparency and accountability, the police were called last week and began their investigation to determine how and why the 19 passports were removed from their original location in the building located on University Drive. The statement said officials at the passport office are cooperating fully with the investigation. The statement also said the passport office is currently working to enhance its security protocols even further. The Bahamas is playing host to the second Caribbean Youth Forum on Drug Use Prevention, a platform where members of the Organization of American States, the OAS, discuss, find, and provide technical solutions to drug issues that affect the region. The forum kicked off on Monday at Super Club's Breezes. Director of the Bahamas National Drug Council, Dr. Novia T. Carter-Lucky, expands on what the forum aims to do.
Our major concerns is we've seen an increase in micro-trafficking, which is the sale and use of illegal substances in country, and even in terms of the use of alcohol by underage minors. And so what we've done is we've developed a lot of programs in our communities and in our schools to meet those needs. So we've developed programs that deal with not only just saying no to drugs, but we strengthen skills against violence prevention. We've done some work with bullying prevention, and we've done a lot of work with anger and stress management. And so it's our hope that over the next few years, we're going to reap the benefits of ensuring that more children receive the skills necessary, not only to resist drugs, but also to make some positive, healthy life choices.
Sandina Neely, representing the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture as she heads the Youth Division, spoke to an issue the ministry works actively to combat.
We are always excited when young people have a chance to engage, and today we have young people from 13 English-speaking Caribbean countries who are here engaging in a forum where they're talking about drug use and prevention of drug use. And that is one of the pillars of our society, where we want to have young people engage in meaningful conversation about things like drug use. And so when you see our national youth policy presented to Parliament later in the year, it's going to be addressing things like prevention of drug use, prevention of crime, talking about fostering good mental health among young people. So we thought it only fitting to be here today. So the scourge of illicit drugs is something that's high on our radar, and so we've incorporated tools and tips for young people in all of our programs. In the Fresh Start program, where we're dealing with 18 to 25-year-olds, as well as our Job Ready program, where we address 16 to 18-year-olds, we provide resources for them, whether they need to liaise with the National Drug Council or the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Ministry of Social Services. We are providing those resources for them. So we are seeking to cover them on all bases.
President of the National Youth Council on Dominica, Fail Lanzer, who took 5 flights from his native island to attend the forum as one of its youth guests, tells us what attending the forum means to him.
So demand reduction is something that's very important to me, because back home I'm also a nurse, and I see the actual negative effects of how drugs can affect young people. And as a result, it's very important to us back home that we start off processes and implement necessary programs that are geared at mitigating this issue of drug abuse, drug misuse, that is. So as a result, I'm very excited to be here. I did not mind the flights, honestly, because I got to see more of the Caribbean. And I also love meeting so many young, innovative and passionate young minds from across the Caribbean region. So I'm excited to learn more. I'm the youth leader from Dominica, so I've been here since Saturday. I love the beautiful island of the Bahamas, and I'm looking forward to see what exactly we will be learning in this drug use prevention program.
For the duration of the forum, which ends on Friday, August 4th, attendees will be equipped with needed skills and strategies for drug use prevention initiatives to be implemented in their respective communities. In response to the protests by social services and healthcare workers in Parliament Square last week, a meeting was held with the Bahamas Public Service Union, the BPSU, the President, Kimsley Ferguson, along with Minister of State for the Public Service, Pia Glover-Roll, head of the Labor Relations Unit, and ministers responsible for those government agencies, Social Services, Minister Obi Wilscombe, and Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville. Minister Glover-Roll telling reporters this morning that it was an excellent meeting where issues brought to light by the protest were addressed.
In regards to social services, there's 2 groupings. there is the employment program, which is the temporary work program. And as we know, temporary work programs in the public service have not been temporary. People have been on these temporary work programs for extended amounts of time, years in most instances. So in regard to the social service regularization exercise, which is the employees on the UAP program, we have received 129 recommendations. 92 of those are currently being processed, so they'll be awaiting approval. And then we have another 12 or so that are not quite in the pipeline yet because we're still waiting on documents or the like.
Mrs. Glover-Roll noted that processed social services promotions remain at 136, while 37 remain outstanding, unchanged since last week. The state minister explains why some promotions are delayed.
And there are a number of reasons that promotions can be outstanding. It could be financial costing. In most instances, it can be a lack of documents and waiting for the ministry to bring those documents back in to complete the files. And then, of course, I would like to continue to say that we continue to process promotions across the public service. We had the finance officers that were recently completed with only about 7 remaining, again, pending documentation or other matters. And the Ministry of Works, I'm happy to say we've completed all of the recommendations that we would have received for that ministry. Simultaneously, we're working on the service-wide promotion, which encompasses the entire public service. Every ministry, every department, every island. We're working on the AS assessment completion, and we're planning a number of other assessments. So this is an ongoing process.
Minister Glover-Roll says her ministry looks to maintain good working relations with trade unions as she encourages them to register their complaints and concerns as often as they need to. And finally, Director of Aviation, Dr. Kenneth Roma, is calling for less talk and more action as a delegation of key aviation tourism stakeholders participated in a first-hand assessment of the 3 main airports across Eleuthera. Dr. Roma, in a statement, says the move is an ongoing exercise to get empowered leadership stakeholders to make assessments of deficiencies and implement solutions based on immediate, medium, and long-term improved strategies. The government recently announced aggressive plans to design, build, finance, operate, and maintain a portfolio of some 14 Family Island airports structured under a public-private partnership scheme, which, according to Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation Chester Cooper, will signal the renaissance of many Family Island communities over the next 3 years. Dr. Roma noting that, in the meantime, addressing critical, low-hanging operational issues remain an ongoing imperative of the Airport Authority that has managerial oversight for the 28 government-owned airports around the country. Some of the immediate implementations over the next 2 weeks will be the completion of roof repairs to the Governor's Harbour Airport, installation of a new air conditioner system and fans in the passenger check-in section of the North Eleuthera International Airport, along with additional seating for international and domestic passengers. Plans are also being finalized for the construction of additional temporary post-screening shelter along with a modernized North Eleuthera terminal with revised design plans expected to be completed by mid-October 2023. Remedial works to the runway is expected to commence over the next 12 months, subject to resolution of a outstanding land dispute on North Eleuthera. Tourism's numbers for Eleuthera are up 23% over 2019 pre-pandemic and up 14% over 2022's numbers. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.